My name is Efua, and I have a 5-month-old baby. So it was basically after I had missed my period, but there was quite an interesting story behind me finding out I was pregnant. I had just had my menstrual period and I went for a work conference, and in conversation someone tells me, I have to tell you something. I have a kind of like a vision about you, that you are pregnant and you shouldn't lift anything above 5 kilos. And I told her, but I just had my menstrual cycle, so I don't think it's possible. And she was like, well, I just had the feeling to tell you this, so just keep that in mind. So in the back of my mind, I always had that, okay, so what if I'm pregnant? What if just when I had my period, or just before I had my period, I got pregnant or something like that? So I had that in mind. And then I also felt a bit sick, like not really, like, oh, foul, you don't feel 100% okay. So when I missed my period, I immediately knew that I was pregnant, even without taking the test. And then we did the test and it was positive. Excited. I was so excited. It was a really great feeling. My husband was excited, my family were excited. I couldn't even wait to tell my family the news. I just immediately told everyone that I'm pregnant. You know, I was so happy. My sisters, my parents, my other mom and dad, that's my husband's parents, everybody was excited. So the only feeling I can remember was pure excitement. I enjoyed people being nice. I didn't get to enjoy this for a long time because my stomach took a while to show. But when people see you're pregnant, they're just automatically so nice to you. They are so friendly, smiles, they want to help you. Are you okay? It's a very, very nice thing. And I also enjoyed the baby's kicks and movements inside. I could share that with my husband, you know. It was a nice thing to share with him. And also the fact that you get whatever you want, that was really nice. You just ask and it's delivered to you. So yeah, that's what I enjoyed about pregnancy. I was in pain a lot in the latter part of my pregnancy. I had a lot of pain, back pain, abdominal pain, body aches, headaches, and you know, you're not supposed to take too many painkillers. So I did endure quite a bit of pain, and that was difficult. I also got quite sick in the latter part of my pregnancy. I got anemia. It's just pregnancy related anemia. So I couldn't eat much. So I was weak. I was not having a lot of blood, and I felt really sick. Those were hard times, and not being able to eat well and fearing that, what if I'm not getting my baby enough food? Because I didn't really have much of an appetite throughout. I had an appetite at some point in time, but in the beginning and at the very end, I couldn't eat. And yeah, those were hard times, and the constant worrying, am I doing something wrong? Why is the baby kicking so much? Then why is the baby not kicking at all? You know, like you're just constantly struggling, like worrying, oh my goodness, did I sit down too hard? Did I get up too suddenly? Like, it's just a constant state of worrying that something is going to happen to the baby, and I think that's also tough to deal with. But it's always good to have a great support system. So I think my husband really helped me through this. My water broke 2 days before I went into labor. I was Netflixing. That was my life when I went on leave, maternity leave. So I was watching a video, and I had been going for pregnancy classes, so I knew what it would look like if my water broke. So immediately it broke, I knew what it was. And I was alone at home. My husband has to go and work in Accra that day. And funny enough, that morning I asked him, so if my water breaks, what are you going to do? And he says, oh, I'll stop everything I'm doing and come as soon as I can. And that's the day my water broke. It was 2 weeks before the expected date of delivery. So it was a lady downstairs who helped me out. She actually went to the hospital with me, helped me get a card, went to the hospital with me, sat by me until my mother-in-law came. She's closer. So my husband called her immediately to come and watch me while he also came from Accra. So my mother-in-law came, and then later my husband joined me. So on Saturday, which was when my water broke, I was in no pain at all. Same thing for Sunday. And another interesting thing about Saturday was my mom went to the UK to see my sister who had just given birth. And that's the day she was coming back. And that's the day my water broke. She was coming back in anticipation of the labor, thinking it was 2 weeks away. And then the day she arrived is the day that my water broke and I had to go to the hospital. So she came there immediately without going home. So on Monday, that's when I first felt the labor pains. They were very mild, very, very mild. When they start, it's so easy. You can walk around, you can even dance. I mean, it's really, you're like, oh, I can do this. It's not so bad, you know. But so my dilation was quite slow. The baby takes a first poop inside your womb. It's not supposed to happen then. He's supposed to come out first. But he did that while he was still inside. So they had to constantly check on me, make sure that everything was okay. So it was later on in the day. I think the labor pain started around 3 a.m. But I was really okay until even up to like 12 p.m. I was still okay. The pain was doable. The intervals were not so much. So they put me on a drip, and whatever is in the drip made the labor progress quickly. That time I was about 4 centimeters dilated. So that when that happened, then suddenly that's when you feel the real labor pain. That's when labor starts. And I don't know how, I can't describe that kind of pain. I've never felt it in my life before. I think you're kind of transported into another world. I don't know how to explain. It's just so painful that you can't comprehend that kind of pain. Your mind shuts down. You're not thinking. You're not functioning. It's just the pain just keeps coming. And then, so then when I was the number of centimeters that I needed to be, which was 10, they took me to the delivery room. So my labor took the very painful part took just about an hour and a half. That's when they augmented it, just an hour and a half, and I was ready. And when I went to the delivery, luckily it took just about 15 minutes and I was done. It was a short one, but painful. I cried. I was already crying from pain, but then when I saw it, I just started crying again, and the nurse said, "Oh, madam, why are you crying? But the baby has come, the pain is over." And it was just tears of joy. Like, you can't believe it, that after all the 9 months of the worrying and all that you've been through, the baby is here lying in your arms. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Yes, drastically. Now you can't do anything without thinking about your baby. Even something as simple as just walking down the street to go and buy something that you need, like salt. Something as simple as that needs to be thought through. Like, can I leave the baby just for a few minutes and go and come? Is he in a safe place? If there's no one to help you out, or so, and anything you do, you have to think about the baby. You can't just say, "Oh, let's go out and go and have dinner." You have to think, am I going to leave the baby somewhere with someone? Is the baby coming with us? What preparations do I have to make? So it's just, there's a third person in your life that you have to constantly factor into all equations. Another thing is sleep. It just changes. And if you like sleeping like I do, it's a huge change for you. I mean, my friends are always laughing at me because they know how much I like sleeping. My sisters are constantly teasing me, but yes, your sleep life changes. It's basically according to the baby's needs and his feeding needs. So whenever he is awake, you have to be awake. You can't sleep when your baby is awake. I'll say personally, I've gained some confidence. It's just knowing that you were able to do something so amazing and so powerful. It gives you some kind of confidence. I think that has been a change. I'm quite confident. I've always been quite confident, but I think this has given me a new level of confidence that I never had before. I'd say I was surprised at my strength. There were times that I asked my husband, "Hey, what if I go and I can't push and the baby is stuck inside me?" Like, I was worried. But I think I was surprised at the strength that I had during the whole process, because the whole pregnancy itself is quite difficult. And going through all that, going through the delivery, coming out and being able to take care of this child, I think I was surprised at my strength. I think I'm somewhere in between now. Initially, I was overwhelmed. I was like, all he does is sleep and eat, and he's always crying. I can't do anything. It's so overwhelming at first because I didn't know what I was doing. And my dad would ask me, do you feel like a mother? And I'll be like, no, I really don't feel like a mother, But as time goes on, you learn about your baby as the baby grows older. Because you spend so much time with your baby, you learn about him or her, and you begin to understand things like, oh, when he cries this way, it means a certain thing. My husband is also very good with the baby. He's there to help all the time. So I think I'm having it a bit easier, like now that the baby is becoming more independent and it's not totally relying on me. I think it's a bit easier for me. So I think I'm somewhere in between, not too blind, not completely there yet. So let's just say cruising. You see, you think that I'll also sleep, but yeah, sometimes I do sleep when I'm exhausted. But it's just at times you realize that there are so many things that you haven't really done. And so sometimes I watch a video, or I clean, or I make a meal, or I read. Sometimes you just want some alone time. I sit down, if my husband is home, I sit down and talk with him, just the two of us, watch TV. Sometimes I just want to do some things on my own. Yeah, I'll say I enjoy it. I have no problem with it. In the beginning, it was so fascinating. Like, you can't believe that someone is, taking food from my breast. It's so fascinating, and it's just, it gives you a warm feeling inside. And I think that is what makes you feel most like a mother, I would say. Like, he's dependent solely on you for food and survival. It's a huge thing. In the beginning, it hurt. It got sore. I got very, very sore because, of course, you don't really know he doesn't know how to latch on properly, and you don't really know how to position him well. We are learning. So I got really sore. But as time goes on, everything kind of, I don't know, all the pain goes away, the soreness goes away, and you are basically okay, unless he bites on on the nipple with his gum. That is very painful. Well, for one, I can't believe I can survive without sleep. That's one thing. I would never have thought it, but I'm so okay. I don't get a constant supply of sleep, but I'm really okay. And then you realize that you can do so many things at once. You can be breastfeeding. Sometimes I have to do some work on my laptop for the office. You can be breastfeeding, working on your laptop, and you are in sync with both things. You can your baby's at your back. You can be maybe cooking something. I don't know. There's so many. You just realize there are so many things that you can do, and in a short amount of time. So I was supposed to resume last month. Funny enough, just the week of the lockdown. That's when I was supposed to resume. And because of the lockdown, I didn't go into work. My boss asked us to work from home. So I'm still working from home, although the lockdown has been lifted. Businesses can still function, but my boss has asked me to still work from home. It's much more flexible, definitely more relaxing. I think that workplaces should start considering allowing mothers to work from home even after their maternity leave is over, because they can have the peace of mind to know that their baby is okay. And then they'll give you their all, because they know that, oh, if my boss thinks I'm not working from home well, she'll let me come to the office. So she'll give you everything that she has, and she will do the work well. So I just think that enterprises should really consider it, because you're still being productive, but at the same time you can, cater for your baby. So killing two birds with one stone. Yeah, so the diaper bag is a whole production, as my husband will say. You have to think it through. Okay, you need diapers, clothes, like what does he need? Feeding bottles, socks. You just have to put everything you can think of, just in case you go and he needs something. Change of clothes, cloth, in case you need to put them on your back. You have to be so meticulous. So I do it a night before. When I'm home alone, like my husband goes to work and none of my mothers can come over and I'm alone. I don't like to take him outside. So what I do is I leave him in his cot and I literally run to go and buy. I ran so fast, just go and buy whatever I need so quickly and ran back. And I had to do it when he's asleep. When he's awake, he will not allow me to go without crying. So when he's asleep, I just put him in his cot, make sure there's nothing around him that could fall on him, that he could pull, nothing like that, and just run and go and come back. That's what, just around here when I need to quickly buy something. Or I just wait till my husband comes before I go and buy it. Because my mom was traveling to go and look after my sister, we gave her an amount of money to go and shop where she was going. So she did the clothes and just things that she thought we would need in the UK. Actually, our baby was bigger than the average baby, so there are some clothes that he never wore. They were too small for him from the start. So I have brand new clothes lying down. It's always fun to go to a shop and buy things for babies. I think it's a fun thing to go. You feel so grown up, and I don't know. It's a nice feeling. So yeah, that's how it's been for us, and it can be costly, but I think we've also been blessed in the sense that people have gifted us as well. And I never knew the value of a diaper. So people started dashing it, and I was like, I can't believe, I'm so happy that we got this as a gift and we don't have to buy this many, because it's really expensive. They'll finish in a matter of weeks if you are lucky, or days. So like, it's always a blessing. And I'm like, anytime someone gives birth, I'm going to dash them diapers. That's my new that's my new strategy from now on. Seriously, it's a blessing when someone dashes you a diaper. I never knew. Mine is quite simple. I just wash the bottles with soap and water, and then I have a sterilizing kit. It takes about 30 minutes. So I just place them inside. You fill the sterilizer with water, and then you just leave it. I think that is what makes it simple. But another thing I would also suggest, that's when I go somewhere and I can't take the sterilizing kit. My mom taught me that. She said if they have a kettle, or you can put a pan on fire, wash the bottles with soap and water, and you dip it. So while it's boiling with the bottle. So by the time it reaches boiling point, the bottles will be sterilized. So that's what I do when I go somewhere and I don't have my sterilizing kit. Yes. Okay, my family members call him Juju. So sometimes I call him that, Juju. But I call him Ope Perimeter because he likes moving around. He likes moving, shifting, dancing. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to where he can crawl, because I think it will be a whole new thing. So, and I also call him Dede Mita because sometimes he can really make noise. Like, he's just there and he's like talking, shouting. Like, as he's not hungry or anything, he's just making noise. So those are my nicknames for him. I'll say the most challenging would be, I'll say some kind of friction between parents and grandparents, especially grandmothers. Let me call it the war of the grandmothers and the parents. We all want what's best for the baby, and it's like a case of youth versus experience. Our mothers have been there before. They've experienced it, so they know that, or they believe in certain ways of doing things. But sometimes you also want to discover new things yourself. So, sometimes it's like we want to do things a certain way and they want us to do things a certain way, and it's just, there's some kind of friction, like, oh, we want to do it this way. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. We are telling you this is the right way, and we want to stand our ground and be independent. We are not children, and it becomes like some whole thing. So we've been able to talk through it. I think now things are okay, things have settled. We've been able to talk. We actually had to sit down and talk to them that it's becoming a bit too much for us, so let's sit down and talk it through. So we've been able to do that. I think things are better now. I think that has been the greatest challenge. It would be being a part of God's creation. I think it's just so beautiful to think that God gave me this gift. He allowed me to be part of the bigger picture of creation. For someone, a whole baby to grow inside you, come out, he's a live human being. It's just, I don't know what word I could use to describe it. It's just so humbling. And that is the greatest experience, that God trusted me enough. He trusted my husband enough to give us this baby, to take care of him and bring him up. And God brings everybody in this world for a reason. The person is going to be someone great. And you brought the person in this world. It's just like, it's so beautiful. You feel so proud, and I think it's so beautiful when the baby smiles at you. I think that's your world just feels all right. It's a beautiful thing.